Are you ready to explore soul-centered sustainable living in today's reality? I'm Leslie Rangel, an Emmy-nominated Latina TV journalist turned emotional health and spiritual movement coach. Join me on the News Yogi, where we'll have conversations celebrating authenticity in a world that demands perfect curation. So come as you are, familia, not who you're expected to be. New episodes every Monday on your favorite platform. Hey familia, welcome to the very first episode of the News Yogi podcast. My name is Leslie Rangel. I'm a journalist, I'm a writer, I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm a meditation and yoga teacher. I'm a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. And really that's what the basis is of this podcast, how to live and love and lead with soul-centered intentions, and more importantly, how to do it sustainably, because a lot of us are out here being the high achievers. I'm a Latina, first generation, daughter of immigrants, always doing the most until the most wasn't really sustainable for me. So this podcast is really focused on living more soul-centered, sustainable lives. I'm so excited that you're here for the very first interview episode of the News Yogi podcast. So let me talk you through a little bit about how my podcast will work. It's a little different than others. So each month, we're going to have a theme, and this month's theme is rest. Rest, rest, rest. There's so much power within rest. Rest is resistance. And week one, so the first weeks of the month, will be interviews. So this week, I've got a really special interview with a dear, dear friend of mine, Jeff Jenkins. A little bit more about him in just a moment, but week one will be interviews. We'll get to chat with people out there who are doing the thing. You look at their content on social media and you look at all the projects they're doing, you're like, wow, they have it so well put together. But what's on the flip side, right? How are they actually living life in real time? Then week two, it's going to be a little bit of a group chat energy. Imagine that I'm sending you a voice note. I do this all the time with my girlfriends. We got a little group chat. We send each other voice notes and podcasts. So it's going to be same energy, right? Takeaways from the conversation and how and why I decided to have that type of conversation. Then week three is going to be focused on practicing, because at the end of the day, I love teaching. I'm a coach. I love leading people. And, you can't just soak up all this information, cross your fingers and hope that it works, right? That's not how learning and teaching works. So I'm going to be giving you some growth work, not homework. We call it growth work around here. So that's what week three is going to focus on, doing meditations, giving you prompts, maybe even little rituals to do to really help you integrate and learn from the best people who are doing it in our community on how to live life more soul-centered and sustainable. And then week four is going to be all about you, because undoubtedly there's going to be questions, right? How exactly do I rest? What happens if I want to rest, but I simply can't because I have all the projects and all the work and I don't know how to say no and I feel like I'm drowning? So we're going to talk through those, and I'm going to answer your questions in real time. And really that's going to be the structure of the podcast, building a community. So without further ado, I'm so excited that my very first interview is with someone who really deeply and truly embodies what it means to live life unapologetically. My dear friend, Jeff Jenkins, he's a content creator, travel journalist, has a special on National Geographic, and is now an author. He has released a book. I'm so excited to talk to him and to hear firsthand from him how he is living life in a soul-centered, sustainable way. He's got a lot of things going on. Every time I check in with Jeff, he's in a different part of the world doing some other miraculous adventurous thing, and we get to hear a little bit of behind the scenes on what it takes to actually get there and do all that. Jeff is a dear friend, so you're going to hear a little bit of laughter, you're going to hear a little bit of tears, maybe you'll see them. I don't know if you'll hear my tears, but more importantly, you'll get to hear from someone who is out there living life unapologetically, taking up space, both literally and metaphorically, and really teaching us how to get uncomfortable, push that growth edge, but also learn how to rest. So grab your cup of coffee, grab your tea, your matcha, your chai, whatever suits your fancy, maybe even a journal to jot down some notes. But I'm so excited to have you listen to this very first interview with Jeff Jenkins. Enjoy.
Wow, thank you so much. That was an awesome intro.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like to start, first of all, welcome to the News Yogi podcast. This is so cool being in this space, talking to you in this manner, and we get more than what, 3 minutes, what we would
Right,
typically do on TV.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
excited to
always,
be here.
yeah, I like to start off with the question, ¿Quién eres? Who are you in this moment? And that comes a lot with like, it's kind of like, hey, how you doing? I'm good. And then you move on. But this is like,
Mhm.
who are you? At the time of this recording, you've been traveling a lot. You've got a lot going on. Who is Jeff in this moment?
Oh, in this moment, Jeff is exhausted. Um, yeah, and I think it's just time zones, jet lag, all of these different things. And it's not like when I am traveling, I'm just doing like I'm just like going on vacation. It's actual work, so it's like I leave that work to come home to do more work. So it's just like trying to catch that break. But I would say Jeff right now is the entrepreneur that's going through the growing pains, and he's having to figure out all the different obstacles and things that arise consistently as an entrepreneur, and then being able to find that time to process, find the time to himself, and then also just finding time for like things that bring joy that doesn't have to do with work.
Yeah, yeah. I love
Hmm.
that. And it's so relevant to why I created this podcast, because I think a lot of times, people see public figures or people who are out there doing the thing, and they see the curated content on social media, like Jeff
Hmm.
dancing and you doing your thing and always everywhere. But I love this side, and it's important to talk about because you
Hmm.
know you started off with I'm exhausted. And another thing you said was, I'm not really on vacation. Tell us a little bit about, briefly, because I know it's been a long journey, and we can find more of that journey in other interviews that I've done with you. But tell us a little bit about your journey and where you are now. I mean, last year you did National Geographic, you did a show with them, and now
Hmm.
you're moving on to other things.
Yeah. Um, what was the question? I'm sorry.
That's okay. The question is, tell us a little bit about your journey, how you've gotten to where you are now.
Okay. Yeah. So I was a high school choir teacher. I'm from Orlando, Florida. Um, I became a high school choir teacher after I graduated from Florida A&M University, and it was me trying to figure out like what I wanted to do and things like that after my stepfather passed away. It was in those moments I started asking myself the question of like, do I want to do this for the rest of my life, like be a teacher? And the answer was no. It was a very quick no. And so I decided to resign as a teacher at the end of the year, and I pursued entrepreneurship. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was actually selling Amazon books, like reselling like Amazon books or reselling books on Amazon.
Wow.
Um, and so that was like my first initial um, like moment of being an entrepreneur, like the nerves, starting an account, starting an LLC, all of these different things. But then it took me into like, man, I really want to do more. And I never said this to anybody, and so you'll get to hear it today. I actually at the, I was at Goodwill. Goodwill is where you go buy the books at. Like you can buy the books for 20 cents, so you get five for $1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can resell them for 100%, 1,000%. One time I did for one book, um, but it was while I was there, I just kept having this moment of just being like, man, this is not like soul satisfying. Like it's not satisfying my soul. Like there has to be more out here because I was like I also couldn't see myself every day coming to the Goodwills and trying to hunt for books.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I really want to do more. Long story short, I went and built I started a water well project with my friends in Rwanda. And while we were there building those wells, or building the well that we started, we only did one.
Mm-hmm.
I kept asking myself the question of like, if money wasn't an option, if whatever dream was to actually happen for you, like what would you do? And it took me 3 days to come to the conclusion that I wanted to travel the world, help people, and get paid to do it. And that took me down the journey of content creation and becoming a travel blogger, and now to the point to where like Nat Geo reached out and we created that first show, and now we're in the process of doing more stuff with Nat Geo and other productions as well. So it's really fun times. Like it's interesting to see like me being tired, and even just me saying it out loud, how quickly like perspective changes of like, man, you really have done a lot in a short amount of time, and just like with teaching, just like with the books, I can ask myself the question again now, and it wouldn't be the same answer as I did for before. Like when it was teaching, I was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. When it was the books, it was like, nah, I don't want to do this no more. Like if I was to do this travel stuff for more years, like could I do it? Hell, heck yeah, sign me up. So I prefer this and I enjoy this, and so yeah, it's been a beautiful journey.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so excited to hear all about it. And also a reminder, you said when even just saying it and thinking about how you said you're exhausted, it changes perspective. But and also, I love to say that with my girlfriends, but and also, you know, there's room for all feelings. Tell us a little
Hmm.
bit more about this exhaustive feeling. I think we don't talk about it enough. Again, we all see the perfect curation on social media. We're out doing the thing,
Hmm.
but what is how do you get to this point where the exhaustion sets in, and more importantly, how do you accept it and still want to keep going? Because there are a lot of entrepreneurs, there are a lot of aspiring content creators that get there and they're like, man, this is not really what I what I thought it was going to be, and a lot of
Hmm.
people are quitting. So what keeps you going, Jeff?
Well, I mean, I think my goals keep me going. Like my goals go past money or like getting subscribers and stuff like that on social media. Like it goes past that. Like it goes back to the impact that I want to make. Um, it just even like I talked to my little cousin yesterday on the phone. He's 27 now, and like I helped raise him when I was a kid. Um,
Yeah.
Literally we were like latchkey kids growing up, so the older cousins watched the little cousins all the time while the parents were at work, and
Yeah.
so just to talk to him, and then we never talk, or we rarely talk, but to talk to him, and was just we both were in the same place of being like, man, I want to break some generational habits that we've had. I want to continue to build wealth with my family, for my family, and be able to put them in different situations, or like even how our money habits were growing up. Like the way I seen the examples, they're not good examples of how to take care of your money, or how to spend your money wisely. And so it's like I want to change that. So that keeps me going. That keeps fueling me up. And so I'm pumped up about that. But yeah, just like what is exhaustion? How did I get to even to this point? I mean, with travel content creation, it's not like, and I just had this conversation with a whole group of content creators. I was like, for y'all, like if you're a beauty person or a fashion person, you don't have to leave your room. You don't have to leave your house. Like you can literally do it all from right there. But for me as a travel person, I have to go travel to get the content that I'm looking for. And so it's just nonstop flying, nonstop cars, nonstop Ubers, being at the airport. I feel like I live at the airport at times. Yeah, people at the airport know me. So I knew something was up. I actually wanted that though. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted people to be like, hey, you're back.
Careful what you
I
wish
see
for.
you again. Yeah. So and I mean, it is that. So it's just like the nonstop. But then when I do go to these places, it's work. So I'm in a sense, I'm a marketer. Like I'm marketing in some ways or showcasing people's destinations
Mm,
to get other people to come there. Like there's a reason why we're there, and so it's in that same kind of vein, that same kind of manner that like it's just like I have the stresses of like, am I getting enough content? Is this content going to be? Is this viral or like something? Not even viral, but more so, is it going to reach the masses? Is it going to reach my audience in a way that benefits them? And so it's it's all of that stuff in one, and then also keeping up with the metrics, keeping up with like posting. Like I can go shoot all that stuff and we still have to edit it. We have like all the post production stuff, the editing, the coming up with titles, the thumbnails, like all of these different things, and then having a team on top of that. Right now, we're still in a place to where a lot of stuff is still being bottlenecked through me, like or because of me. And it's not that I haven't like relinquished, like not willing to let stuff go. It's just us finding how to let stuff go. And
yeah.
so it's just all of that in one that continues to make. I mean, it just makes you tired. So, uh,
Yeah.
and I just got back from a trip, and I go on another trip, and so it's like so it's just always something going on. And like I'm literally gone for the rest of the month. And this
Mm,
is what the sixth day of the month right now. And so
yeah.
all of August I'm gone. So and all of July was gone. So it's just consistently that.
Yeah.
And I have to find ways to do all of this while still maintaining like these like wonderful being able to get on the podcast with my friend and do these podcasts and how do I still have these meetings if I'm like about to go jump off of a cliff in Barbados, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all of those different things at once.
Yeah, no, and thank you so much for sharing not only your time, but also a little behind the scenes there. Jeff, how do you set boundaries? Do you set boundaries? Is this something that you think about, or is this something that you're starting to think about more as, you said you keep growing and the projects keep coming and you keep adding to more?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I definitely have boundaries and I do them, and I feel like that's what separates me from a lot of people is that I do know how to say no a lot, but I also know how to say yes a lot too. So if I'm saying yes, most of the time, like I want to be there, so I'm putting on the face, and we're going to be there. But I would say that like as new things come, there comes with new challenges, and so it's like or as with new things come, it's a new experience. So it's me being able to figure out, okay, okay, I need to set up some boundaries here, and that's something that I'm like in that place. And I think there's a little bit of growing pains, like I told you, because I added on the team and stuff like that. So it's just like
Mhm.
is how much I'm going to do right now, and then how much I can like. Okay, for this set amount of time, I'm going to go hard. Like boundaries are not a thing right now. Like I got to get this, but I know in my head like okay, once we get here, then I take that boundaries. Once I feel like y'all are set up, now I can start putting these boundaries into place, and so that's what I've been working on.
Yeah. For anybody who's an aspiring content creator, or maybe they're just a content creator already, but not to the level that you are, what would you say that you wish you would have known before you got to this level in terms of how to really take care of yourself. And then more, on the practical side, more of like the business side, how do you know when you need a team?
hmm I can tell you, I'm gonna answer that first part or the first and last question first. You need a team as soon as you can get a team. Like, I think my issue always has been like affordability and like, I still got bills and I have people to take care of at times, and so it's just like ah, and but you still, I realize I can't even do majority of the stuff I'm doing now without a team. For me to keep pushing out videos the way that I'm pushing them out, me to be able to do some things that I'm doing, even with social media, is not is as quickly as you can get a team, get one. As quickly as you can like hire somebody, even if it's for 5 hours, do it. Like you might not be able to afford like a full time person or even a part time person to doing 20 hours. You can afford somebody to work 5 hours a week, at like
Yeah.
$15 to $20, to where you're only spending $350 to $400 for the whole month. It's worth it being able to get somebody to do that. So I would say immediately get a team as quickly as you can, because the more you can take stuff off your plate, but you also got to know how to delegate. And you also got to know what you need them to do, because that part's the stressful part for a lot of people. And some of it's also just growing pains. And so going back to the growing pains, the thing that I wish I knew before, I would say is patience. Like, I mean, I didn't know it, but I knew I had to have it. I didn't know I needed it, but the depths of patience is where I was like, oh, I was like, oh, we got to be this patient. Oh, this is how this works. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
because it's one of those things to where you talk about patience, and patience will keep you from doing a lot of stupid stuff. I'll just say it that like that. Like,
Mhm.
if you're impatient and a situation comes up or a deal comes up that's like might not even be like the deal that you should be taking. Like, you like, oh, why am I doing this? Right?
Mhm.
Patience and wisdom will give you that moment of being like, you know what? This is not what I want. Don't get in your feelings about it. Just wait. Your opportunity is coming. And even in that, that's when those opportunities do come. Or like patience and like, oh, I need to get this thing right now. No, or I need to go on this trip right now. No, you don't. You need to sit on. Like, just don't go anywhere, because I remember it was a friend's birthday, and I really wanted to go to my friend's birthday, and then something was just like, nah, I don't think I should go. And I needed to save that money. Period. Come to
Mhm.
find out, literally that same weekend, I needed to pay a bill, or a new bill came up. I think it was a hospital bill for my dog. So,
Oh,
so it was like if I went on this trip, like I would have been in the deficit. So it was like one of those
yeah.
things, um, to where it's just like, man, you just learn patience, and then patience keep you from being frustrated. Patience keep you from like being like, I'm not where I should be, like the kind of things. Like keeps you from thinking that way in a lot of ways, and so patience is a big one.
Yeah, yeah, no, I can totally relate. As you know, I just left my TV job and I've been like, oh, patience, all of July or all of June. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do the podcast and we're just gonna keep going. And some fun things have come up, but like you said, I wouldn't have known that these things and special projects would have come up if that patience wouldn't have been there. So
Yeah,
I
that, or the one thing I was going to say was that sometimes, and even only guys I know, Leslie, and we've talked before. But the one thing that I would say is that you stepping out on your stuff, a lot of times you don't know what opportunities lie by you just actually just stepping out. Like, and it might take a little time. Like the water got to drip a little bit before you get the full faucet effect, but
yeah.
it comes. It definitely comes. So I'm kudos to you for stepping out and doing what you're doing now.
Thank you. Thank you. I received that. I received that
Come
for
on,
sure. No, I want to
come
go
on.
back to you said you got your dog at home, you got beautiful family.
Mm-hmm.
What does Jeff do for like downtime? Like, do you get to go on vacation? What are the things that bring you joy, that relax you, that keep you grounded?
Well, I'm starting to realize it's nature that does it, and it forces you to it. Like, I mean, if you give me some dynamic, like mountains or the beach or something like that, a forest, I wouldn't care. Something
Yeah.
that's like majestic enough to where it forces me to be like, I'm good. I'm not doing anything. I'm relaxing. So I just did a road trip, and that's literally one of the first times that I was like, yo, this is like is now consistent that if I put myself out in nature in some kind of way, um, is where it's a forced like downtime. But yeah, I do try to take vacation. Sometimes coming home is vacation, you know.
Yeah. I love
Um,
that.
but it's like today, like I don't know, like I was so like like stressed out today. Um, because of mishaps, literally mishaps from like my team, um, to where like it forced me to have to do a whole bunch of other stuff, and it took me off of the plan of what I had to do today,
Yeah.
which rarely happens, but it did. But I turned on FIFA today, and and I tried to turn on some like podcasts or like YouTube videos today, just to take myself out of the moment.
Yeah.
And I do know that like sometimes playing the video game, which I don't play like rarely at all. I just started playing it again after
Uh-huh.
it sat literally in my house for 2 years. So
Wow. Do you have a PlayStation or an Xbox?
yeah, it's a PlayStation. It's a
Okay.
PlayStation.
Okay.
Hmm.
My husband has an Xbox. He's a big gamer, so I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm
I
on the
wish I
gaming
could be a
trend.
gamer. I wish I could be a gamer more, but I am loving that like being able to find that little bit of time to do it.
Yeah.
Also, hanging out with friends is another thing that I try. But yeah, I think I also realized when I just went to Barbados, they had us in some really nice accommodations, and it was like an all inclusive. And I said, you know what? I need some all inclusives in my life. Like I think that's the train I want to go down now. Like
Yeah.
put me
Yeah.
at an all inclusive.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Did
Well,
you
we'll
hear
have.
that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say we got to go to an all-inclusive. There, I have
Come
one
on.
that I love in Belize. I think I told you about it once, but
Oh yes, 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 yes. I remember when you went. No, but
yeah.
they somebody just told. I just saw this stat, or not even a stat. Somebody did a looked up this like did the expenses like. Is it cheaper to stay at an all inclusive for a month?
Hey, familia, are you taking notes? I sure hope so. Okay, so a quick pause to ask a huge favor. Make sure you're subscribed to this podcast and YouTube channel. It ensures you don't miss any episodes and gets this content in front of more people. So please just take a second, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate your support. All right, now let's jump back into the conversation.
Or do your monthly expenses, and the all inclusive came out less.
Stop. Oh my
Uh huh.
gosh. Well,
Uh-huh.
now I'm
It
on
was
this.
like almost $1,000
Oh my
less.
gosh, that's incredible. I'm
Mm-hmm.
without saying too much, I'm now on this remote work lifestyle. So,
Love it.
maybe I need to find an all-inclusive where I can go live at for a month.
Come on, come on. That makes sense.
We'll
That
just
actually
set up
does make
shop. We'll
sense, and
bring
it
the
sounds
studio.
great. For real, it does sound. That sounds fantastic. You know, and that's what I want. Like, I want something like that,
Yeah.
because I would love to like do my work, and then that's why I go to coffee shops just to not be at home. Like,
Yeah.
but I would love to like do my work. I get work done very well when I'm looking at a mountain or staring at the beach,
Yeah.
or just hearing the ocean waves, like the shh from that.
Yes.
Take me there now. I'm ready to go.
Same. Yeah, same. I love it. I love it. What do you most miss about Texas when you're not in Texas? Like you're like, out traveling, you're like, I just want to go home. What do you miss most about Texas?
Breakfast tacos.
Yes.
Breakfast tacos, sometimes the barbecue, but mainly the friends and family. Like, I think my community that I have here, and like to leave them at times, it's lame. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
Texas
when I come
misses you,
back,
friend.
yeah. So when I come back, I get it. But Texas has a different culture that like me traveling around the world or me traveling to around the states. I only have two more states to go to, and that's Arizona and Alaska. Two A's, the two
Wow.
A's.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You'll make it.
um, yeah. Oh, of course, that's the plan. So,
Yeah.
but I was just saying that like Texas just got this own culture, and I always tell people like Texans are actually very nice.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
actually some really nice people, you know.
Yeah.
So,
It's
not
so
being
funny.
born here to come over here, I'm like, man, you know what? Texas folks are way nicer than some other places I go.
You're a Texan now. It's settled. You're a
Oh yeah,
Texan now.
totally.
Well, I have been so grateful to have you on today's podcast. And I also
Hmm.
want to make room for that exhaustion. So we're going to keep this one short and sweet. I'm going to go ahead and close out with just a few questions that I love to ask everybody
Okay,
and answer as long or as short as you would like. So the first one
okay.
is, what does soul centered living mean to you?
Autonomy. Um, it's being able to. I'm trying to sound very articulate here right now, but no, it's a great question. I would say is you being able to be autonomous, like have this like feeling of self, like being in tune with self, and letting self or like the inner soul centeredness, like being centered here, like in your chest or in the middle of your body, and helping that, like letting that navigate you. Like I did, for the first time, I got to do clay pottery with the spinning wheel and stuff. Right,
Yeah, yeah.
so much fun. I wanted to have my little ghost moment, and I did. Um,
Yes.
but it was they would tell you like you have to like relax yourself, relax your body,
Mm.
let your feelings help you to create whatever it is that you're creating. And so it's like you have to just like trust yourself and trust that your body's going to do it. And so that's why I would say the equivalent of soul center, like centering that soul kind of thing. Like I feel like it's like you having to trust your body to like do its thing, or in your mind to do its thing because it will. It'll
Yeah.
lead you in the right direction.
Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Hmm.
Okay, next
Thank you.
question. How do you live sustainably, or how are you living sustainably right now?
Great question. um, I don't know. I feel like I'm very conservative in a lot of ways. I'm one that does not like energy to go to waste. I can tell you that already. Um, I think I do a lot of more sustainable acts in the sense of like being able to do like regenerative travel, um, to where I try to help with the carbon emissions,
Mm.
or what's the word? Make things carbon neutral. So it's
Yeah.
like, although
Yeah.
I'm traveling a lot, I try to find myself in projects like doing, like planting trees or like gardening and things like that to actually just to help the environment, so that the environment, as the environment grows, it brings back stuff to the ecosystem.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And naming it,
Hmm.
right? Owning it. And
Hmm.
you also do this. I love that. I love that. Now this one's it gets deeper as we go. How do you connect to your
I found.
ancestors, Jeff?
Great one. Mhm. I say but I don't know. Like I mean, me talking to my grandma recently. I think I keep people on my mind a lot. Uh, and sometimes I think about them a little too much, and I'll be like, hey, don't go that far with it. But I do think about how I can make my stepfather proud, or continue to keep making him proud and things like that. Or is mainly keeping people at the forefront. Like what's my boy? Coco, Mama Coco. I forgot the name. Coco is
Yes.
the name of the movie. I
Yeah.
forgot the kid's name right now.
Miguel.
But just Miguel. Come on, there we go. But it's just like even from Coco, like talking about just having this remembrance of your ancestors and things like that. I think keeping them at the forefront and letting them know that they're not forgotten in that sense, I think that continues to help guide me as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. Coco, that's a tear jerker.
What? What? When Mama Coco started singing with him, I said, "Oh,
I know.
this is
I
it.
lost it. I was like, I
I'm
can't
done.
watch this
I'm
movie
done."
right now. And then, on the flip side of ancestors, how do you connect to your inner child, little Jeff? I know that I want to share the story super quick, but I know that the first time I interviewed you for something, you told me about the first time that you remember traveling, and it was on a bus. How do you connect to inner child Jeff, little boy Jeff?
I think about that moment a lot, and
Tell us
I think it goes past, huh?
yeah, can you tell us just a quick snippet of that moment?
Well, yeah. So it was just me on a bus going to the Greyhound bus going from Orlando to Connecticut, and so to go between states like that, and to see just different things outside of Florida, outside of Orlando, I was just mesmerized. I was excited to be able to get I think Burger King had Happy Meals back then too, their own like style of Happy Meals, kids meals, and
Yeah.
oh man, I was so excited to do a pit stop. All that stuff was a lot of fun, the stuff that I never experienced before. But even then, it was always that excitement of like, oh, I'm excited to explore. And explore is the word that I use all the time and I talk about it all the time. I'm happy that I am an exploratory person. I don't even know if I said that right, but
Of course.
what I'm getting at is people people underestimate me a lot, right? And I've never been a person that like I need to go prove to them or even prove to myself that I can do something, right? I've never been that person. Like I don't know what it is. It just ain't in me, you know. And I mean, there might be a couple of certain situations, but for the most part, the majority of the time, I'm not a person trying to prove anybody wrong. But I am a person that likes to explore. Like I was like, what if I could do that? Or like, what would happen if I did this? You know, like I'm just that curious. Like I want to explore. I want to feed the curiosity. And so I would say that that brings out the inner child a lot. Or letting shit go. I don't know. I don't know if I can cuss on here. You can
Look,
beep it
it's
out.
my podcast,
But
so you
yeah,
can do whatever we
come on.
want.
Come on. But it's just like letting stuff go. Like there's so many things to be stressed out over. And a lot of times we only got one life to live as well. So some of these
Yes.
things aren't even that big of an issue. I I remember even growing up, and I don't know why I'm saying this, so y'all are just gonna hear it anyway. I remember growing up, and you might have seen this before too. I would see somebody that like this is like elementary school, middle school, when people will fight, like kids will get in fights, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be so upset with each other. And then come to find out some of those kids became best friends.
Yeah.
I'll be like, what the how does that work? You know? And so it's like the same thing of like we're arguing about something. We might even have an angst against somebody. And then sometimes some people just needed to duke it out and they'd be like, you know what? You're my best friend.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I've witnessed too many experiences to where people have been miscommunicated or they miscommunicate with each other. They miscommunicate with each other and they separate. They one person accidentally says the wrong thing. They separate. Like all of these different things happen
Yeah.
and people don't take the time to actually like sit back and be like, man, you know what? It really ain't that serious. Like, or I'm not gonna argue, go back and forth. Like the moment I learned not to go back and forth with people, that I felt like that's when my life changed. So it's like one of those things of just like that all that like non-pressure I'm taking off of myself, or all that pressure I'm taking off of myself, it really keeps me in a state of like childlikeness, or not thinking of myself too highly, to where like or too mature. Like, oh man, as a adult, we don't do those things. Like, and if
Yes.
I want to go jump in a puddle of water because it's raining outside, I want to go do it. Like, what? Let's try it. Like, I haven't done it in forever, but wouldn't that be cool? And so it's like, and I do that with other people. I make my friends do stuff like that.
I
And my
love that.
friends would be like, you know what? I had no plans to do that. but I'm glad we did it. Like that was so much fun. Like I needed that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize they need more of their inner child.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we've got one life to live. We've got one life to
Mm-hmm.
live. Last couple of questions. What do we
Mm-hmm.
need less of in this world? My friends call me less, but take interpret that however you will. What do we need less of in this world?
Hmm. Man, it's a good question. Ugh. I think we need less guns. I don't care what nobody says. Like less weapons.
Okay.
I don't get it. Yeah, I still think there's something to it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why I went with weapons, but that's what I went with
Look, it is what
because
it is. It is
it
what it
is.
is.
It is because I mean, to be honest, like it's a contingent like or it's a angst that people are having within our politics here in America, and I'm just like, man, we over there really arguing about this, like for real, for real. Like, there's other things that we can be dealing with, or if we got less of them off the street, it's really hard to do something to somebody without having a weapon. So
Yeah.
I think that to me is one of the biggest ones. And you want to know something too? Since I have you on the phone, or
Tell
it's not
me.
the phone. Since I'm on this podcast, uh, see, I like this podcast because it feels like I'm just talking to you on the phone.
Exactly.
Um, as a kid growing up, I should not have, like, as a kid in America, I should not have had to experience, like, the effects of gun violence or
Mm,
just violence with weapons. Like, and that's something that, like, when I found out that other people didn't have that experience, I was like, what? And
mm,
so to me there's so much like hurt and anguish that goes along with weapons,
yeah.
and a lot of times they're just being used wrong, and so yeah, that's why I just say let's get rid of them.
Yeah. Did you have a loss, Jeff?
Oh, a lot. Oh, a
Mm,
lot as a kid. Yeah, a
mm,
lot. Like in the sense of Um, I mean, it became a point to where it wasn't until last year that I actually started realizing, like, oh my gosh, oh, I can start naming so many people that have like got killed, like by gun violence and things
mm,
like that, and it was just like oh, he died, oh man, so sorry to hear that. It
mm.
becomes one of those things. Or you go
Yeah.
to the funeral and then like I'm at another funeral, and even for some reason in those moments I still don't have, back then I didn't have like a, like it felt like a norm. It just felt so
Hmm.
normal.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that, and I'm sorry to hear that, and I think it even more exemplifies like your joy for life and what you do, and like you said, don't stop exploring because you've lived it. We only have one life to live, and it's now. It's so
Hmm.
beautiful. Well, I so appreciate your time, Jeff. Last question. How can folks support you? I know you've got a lot of exciting things coming up. You're doing creator retreats, your YouTube, and you're writing a book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, as just as Leslie mentioned, I have these really cool creative retreats happening, to help people like myself right now get through the exhaustion part.
We
Um,
need it.
yeah, it's one of those things to where we're always being creative and always working. To where I want time for content creators to be able to come together to do masterminding together, be inspired by each other, but then also finding a way to relax and enjoy themselves. So that's
Yeah.
the reason I do these creator retreats, and then. Yes, please go to my YouTube channel, Jeff Jenkins Chubby Diaries, and subscribe and watch my show. Like I feel like it's like my new show, like doing YouTube, and I'm loving it
You'll love it.
because it's me being able to do all my travel stuff without having somebody being like, no, you can't do that, you know.
Yeah.
And then yes, hopefully by the beginning of winter, I will have a new illustrated book coming out talking about my journey, or not my journey. It is a little Jeff in it, but um, it's to make sure that kids um, realize that like life begins where their comfort zone is, and so it's being able to inspire the next generation to step out of their comfort zones and go for the gusto.
Wow. We're so excited. I can't wait. Real quick, your social media handles. How do people find you?
Yes, they can follow me at Chubby Diaries on all my social media.
Perfect. And of course, we'll have all the links in the show notes. Jeff, I so appreciate you. 45
Uh,
minutes. How'd I do? You're done.
you did fantastic. You did fantastic. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for your patience.
No,
I
thank
mean,
you.
I'll be on season two. That's it. That's what we'll make happen.